What's up guys, Salt Anthony, welcome back to the Civic vlog that you hopefully know and hopefully love. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to repair rock chips.
I think I'm overdosing. I think I'm overdosing.
Alright guys, and welcome back to the Budget Civic vlog, where we're spending money in a very calculated way to make this car clean as hell on the cheap. Now, one of the first things I've been wanting to knock out on the Civic are these very unsightly rock chips. Now, rock chips are obviously a part of daily driving and they just happen, but it sucks when they do. And this Civic is no stranger to rock chips, as they are pretty much everywhere on this 21-year-old car. Now, what I want to do is walk you through my process and show you how I fix these using the Dr. Colorchip system. So we're going to be focusing on this fender right here, not the entire car, because I don't want to bore you guys to death, showing you how I can repair these by spending about $50 on a kit, which would give me enough product to do the entire car. But again, I don't want to bore you to death, so we're going to focus on this fender. I have some pretty gnarly chips here, 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 and there. So obviously this fender has seen some shit in its day, and I obviously need to fix the rest of the car, but we're gonna start here first. So I'm gonna grab the camera, get set up, show you the product, show you the process, and so on. Let's get started. All right, so getting straight into this, what is Dr. Colorchip? Now, Dr. Colorchip is a paint repair system. I've made a video on this in the past, but it was so long ago, and I've gotten a lot better at it that I'll kind of revisit it here. So basically what you do is go to the Dr. Colorchip website, you input your vehicle information, and they make you an exact color match for your car, meaning you don't need a paint pen, you don't need a rattle can, you don't need to go down to a shop or anything like that. They mix it up for you in a small 1 ounce bottle or half-ounce bottle, depending on which product you get, and you're able to knock out tons of chips on your car. So I have enough in this box to probably knock out this car 3 times over. So anyways, opening this up, I got my color matched for the taffeta white, how do you say taffeta white? I don't know how to say that. So glove, your cheesecloth, I'll talk about that here in a minute, and then we have the product. So opening this up, I've done this, guys, I've probably used this kit, not this kit, but I've repaired countless cars. I mean, probably over 100 different cars at this point. So I'm very familiar with everything you get in this, but I'll walk you guys through it. So here is our color chip match. So now obviously with this being a white car, it's not gonna be too complicated, but Dr. Colorchip is also able to match metallics. So I have a kit for the Evo, which was pretty much a perfect match. I've had a kit made for the Triumph, the Red Civic, so on and so on. So they do good work with metallics and just standard colors like this white here. So that's our paint right there. And then from there, we have our Seal-Act solution. This is basically a sealant and solvent. So what it does is it seals in any chip that you fill, but it also knocks down any excessive paint that maybe have overflowed past the chip, and you're gonna use this in conjunction with the cheesecloth. Now you're also going to have some brushes here. I'm really good with the system. When I first made a video on it, I sucked. I wasn't very good, but the more I used it, the better I got. And so just have faith. If you're bad the first time, try it again, try it again, try it again. It's not gonna hurt to keep trying it. So anyways, brushes here. I have my own set of brushes that I'm gonna be using instead that are also pretty much just like this yellow one here. I just buy them in bulk off of Amazon. And that's it. Comes with a microfiber towel if you don't have a microfiber towel, and then a glove so you don't get paint on your hand. Now I'm gonna walk you through the process. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. To get started, what you need to do is make sure that your panel is perfectly clean. So what I started with doing was rinsing the panel off. You can do a normal car wash if you wanna do it that way. I used a rinseless wash, rinsed everything off, and then I used a fallout remover. Now the fallout remover is actually going to break down a lot of that surface rust within those chips. And so there's plenty of fallout removers on the market. Use whatever you have. I'll try to link one down in the description, but that's going to melt a lot of that extra iron contaminants off the surface. And once you do that, that should give you a better starting point on the chip to fill. And then you're gonna rinse everything off, wash it off using a wash mitt or whatever you got. And then I went back through, I sprayed a little bit more of the fallout remover, and I actually clay barred or I clay toweled this fender to remove all the contaminants and kind of knock down those chips as well. After that, I re-rinsed everything, and then I dried it. And at this point, we have a clean fender that has had the fallout removed. It's been clayed, so everything is smooth. And all we have to do now is our prep steps and jump into this. So let's get started. All right, so step one may or may not apply to you. And what I mean by that is that these chips have obviously been exposed for a very long period of time and had surface rust on them. The fallout remover was able to break down a lot of that surface rust, but there's still some rust underneath here. If you don't have rusted chips, just skip past this and go to the next step. But if you do have rusted chips, then check this out. So obviously this one right here has a little bit of rust left on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the back of one of those brushes. You can also take maybe like a ballpoint pen and then grab yourself a little bit of sandpaper. So I had 1500 grit just kind of lying around. I basically tore off a little square and created a little hat. I'm going to slide the tip of this into this little hat and kind of wrap it around and create, I don't know, like a little sanding stick, if you will. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this sanding stick and I am just going to start sanding away any of that residual surface rust. Now, why do you wanna do this? You wanna do this because if that rust is on there, it's going to prevent the Colorchip paint from bonding properly. We want that to bond the best it possibly can. That's why I'm doing this. Because this system doesn't require primer or anything like this, it's kind of like an all-in-one. There's no clear coat. It's literally just one product that fills everything in. This is pretty much a solid step that needs to be done. So I'm just kind of going through, scrubbing at it. That looks pretty good in my opinion. Now for any other chip, what I'll do is same thing. If it's really small, you can kind of like stick it in and twist it, you know. Stick it in and twist it. That's primer, that's primer. It was just these two that were bad, and which makes the most sense because these are on almost a horizontal panel. So, all right, so from there, I'm gonna take alcohol. So I'm taking that little towel that came in the kit. I don't really like this towel that much, so that's why I'm using it for this. And cleaning out that chip with a little bit of pure 70% isopropyl alcohol. So you're gonna go over all the chips. Anything that you're gonna fill, you have to prep it. If you don't prep it, it won't stick properly. All right, so you're gonna get your paint, you're gonna take off the wrapping, and you're gonna shake this thing up for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. There's a little ball bearing inside here. That's gonna stir it all up for you. Once it's in decent shape, we're gonna pop the cap, and you're gonna take your little paintbrush that came with it. There's 3 options in there. I like the one that looks like this. It's kind of the micro brush, if you will. I'm gonna go through, pick up a little paint at the edge of this. Now you don't want a ton on there, but you just want, I don't know, close to full. Now for this larger chip, this is the most unsightly one. I'm gonna start here first, and I am going to start dropping paint onto this chip. Now what I'm doing is kind of, I'm blotting it, but I'm filling it because it's just deep enough to where the paint will actually start filling in those areas, and I'll kind of push it around to make it to where it's not as noticeable. 50% better. Obviously you can't see it from, well, you can still see it from back here, but this is one that's gonna require multiple layers. So what I'm gonna do is do this first layer here, get it on there, kind of create like a base, and I'm gonna start building it up. So as this one starts to dry, I'm not gonna touch it, I'm just gonna let it go. I am going to move on to the next one. All right, so for this next one here, I'm gonna use a little bit of a different technique. I'm gonna load up my brush. And I'm actually going to kind of blob it next to the chip here. I am blobbing it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the side of my thumb with my glove on, and I'm going to spread it into the chip. Now, I don't really like this method as much. It works for the smaller stuff, but for these big ones here, it's hard to get like a good glide across, but that's pretty much the best I'll be able to do, and we'll just kind of have to build that up. Now the idea is to not put too much on the brush, sorry I'm concentrating, not put too much, but put just enough to where you can move it around. And you'll kind of know what I mean if you have a bigger chip to where you have to fill this, you'll kind of start building it up in size, and they'll all start coming together. That's with 2 coats right there, or 2 layers. It's already a ton better. Seriously, that already looks a ton better, and you're not gonna notice that from 5-10 feet away, but I can still see it underneath these fancy lights here. So I'm gonna let that dry once again, let that kind of build up more and more, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back over it again, and then level it all out with that Select and the towel, kind of like I talked about. But I'm gonna come back through, build up this chip right here, start dropping paint in, and filling that. Now, if you overfill it, don't stress out because that'll all be cleaned up by that stuff I was talking about. So anyways, that's those. I'm gonna move on to these over here and keep going. All right, so if they haven't already disappeared on the camera, I have no idea. Now it's gonna move on to the next step here. So I am going to continue to fill a couple of these up. I don't know if you guys can even see them. I hope you can. I'm gonna try to fill them up more and more and more, but we're gonna take our Seal-Ax solution. I'd probably say they've been drying for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And my garage is probably 80 degrees right now. So taking this, and I'm going to start wiping over that chip to try to knock down any of the excess product. Dang, dude, that one turned out pretty good, man. Turned out pretty good for being 2 coats. White's just an easier color to match, that's for sure. All right, so after that Seal-Ax been applied, you're gonna take your microfiber towel, go over it, and wipe off the solution. And at this point, if you're happy with how it looks, if you think, wow, I can't even see it anymore, it's completely gone, move on to the next one, or just call it good. Don't even worry about it. However, if you're crazy OCD like I am and you want it to be perfect, you'll probably go over it again. Now, if you decide to go over it again, grab that alcohol again, go over it with alcohol just so you can prep that surface. Take your towel, wipe it off, and then reapply. All right, guys, so it's been about 20 minutes since we applied the Seal-Ax solution with a white cloth, and it's time to check out the final result. Now, you know you've done a good job if you can't find the chip that you fixed, or maybe even grab a friend to come play Find the Chip and see if they can find it as well, but let's go ahead and check it out. So we're about, I don't know, 8 feet away or so, and I can't see them from here. Getting a little bit closer. Can you see it yet? No. Getting a little bit closer. Can you see it yet? I can see the one right there. That really deep one that I had to fill multiple layers on, and that one as well. So those are the only 2 that I can visually see. The one on the side, can't really see it. All those small ones up towards the front, up here near the hood, I can't really see. And so we know we've done a pretty good job. And most people are not going to notice them. They aren't gonna notice them. Not unless there's a major ding, or maybe if you didn't fill it up enough. But this one right here is pretty gnarly. That was a pretty bad chip, and I think that even at certain angles, you can't even see it. So pretty happy with how that turned out. Hopefully you guys are impressed as well. I really think that this Dr. Colorchip system is probably one of the best on the market. You just have to be patient and learn how to use it. And the biggest tip, buy a ton of those little mini brushes. And again, I'm gonna try to link those down in the description so you can try it for yourself, but those make a huge difference because they don't give you enough brushes in that kit to be able to do this. So I'm super happy. That looks fantastic. So, but obviously I still have a lot left to do on the hood, the other fender, the doors, the rear quarters, so on and so on, and I'll save that for a later time. I just want to make this quick video showing you the possibilities of this system. So stick around for the befores and the afters, and as always, if you guys like this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more Civic content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Solid Anthony. Peace.